Hi, this is Lance Yoder, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how to integrate my Hyperslides or any Google Slides presentation into Google Classroom a couple of different ways. One way to think about it is if you're giving each student their own copy to work on, get the information, maybe you have boxes for them to fill out, or you want them to interact with it in some way. That would be making a copy for each student. And the other one is how to set up collaborative groups. So I'm going to go through both of those steps, how to integrate this particular slides presentation that I created in order to integrate it into Classroom. So first things first, I'll start with making a copy for each student. This one's pretty simple. You go to your Google Classroom, the classroom that you want to work in, you create an assignment, you set it up by giving a title, you call it whatever you want, you give special directions, and you set your due date however you want, set it for the next couple days, and you set your topic. Could be just a question, I don't know. And then you go to Google Drive, you attach the slides presentation that you want to use. So I select it like so, and I don't have to do anything special to my slides presentation. I could just use the existing one, but I need to make sure that I make a copy for each student. This is the most important step. This is the step that I frequently run into with teachers that sometimes say, well, each student can't work on it, or they're working on the same one. Well, you have to make a copy for each student. Then you can schedule it, or you can save a draft. I'm going to go ahead and assign it now. So this makes it that every student in this class now receives a copy of my HyperDoc. The second part of this video is all about how to make collaborative groups. So if I have a slides presentation like mine here, and I want to set it up that students can work together in a group, then I need to set it up a little differently with Google Classroom. So I have Classroom ready, I have Google Drive ready, you'll see why in a little bit. And then also I have my slides presentation. So since I'm talking about students collaborating together, they're going to be working on the same doc at the same time. I don't necessarily want them to be able to edit my template. So I need to start with making a copy. This is the first most important step. If you don't do this, they're going to destroy your template. So I'm going to make a copy, and I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to just call it by the group name. I'm going to call this group the Falcons, just for fun. And I'm also going to select where I want to put it. And I'm actually going to put it in my Google Classroom. And the reason why is because as I do these steps, it's actually going to put in the Classroom folder in my Google Classroom name, that's this class right here, it's actually going to create extra copies and put them in this folder as I continue this process. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. I'll hit OK, and it's going to open up a new copy, and I can go ahead and X out of my original. If I leave that open, who knows, I might get a little confused there. So it's opening up. I have my group name. I'm going to go ahead and create an assignment. Create assignment. I'm going to call this HyperDoc. I'm going to say work together. Let's say I had a whole bunch of other directions and whatnot. I set a due date like so, and I set a topic. I like topics a lot for the purpose of my own sanity, for me to keep track of my group work, and also your students. Your students can then see what's with the regular class and what's just with their groups. So this is the Falcons, and you can create new topics up here. I'm going to go ahead and just select my Falcons group here, and I'm going to attach my Google Slides presentation. Here it is. Attach. And this is the second most important step. I've attached it. I need to make sure that I make it that students can edit. And the third most important is that I select my students, which students are supposed to get this. So I'm going to select just the kids that are in the Falcons group. And let's say there was a whole list here, and I would click them off like so. All right, so that's my first group, and I could assign this. I could save it as a draft. Either way, it's going to work. I'm going to hit assign. Those students get that. Okay, for my next group, then what I could do is I could possibly go back and redo the entire process, make the copy, and then send it for each student, and then set my students and give it the title and all that stuff. If I want to just streamline that whole process, here's what I can do. I can reuse the post. Now, you have to do this before kids ever work on these documents, so keep that in mind as well. I'm going to reuse the post. I'm going to select my assignment. I need to make sure that this is checkmarked. It will make a new copy of that slides presentation. I'm going to reuse it like so. Once it is reused, what's nice is that it keeps my title, it keeps my instructions. I can set the due date, just like I did before. I can set my group. Let's say that I want this to be the Bluebirds, and I'm going to rename this document. I'm going to just click it open like so. And the reason why I like to click it open is because, well, it's there. I don't have to go dig for it in Google Drive. And I'm going to just rename this to Bluebirds space. And I'm going to click off to the side. This is actually kind of important because it actually keeps the name when I click off to the side. And I'm going to hit the X because I don't need that anymore. And it's going to actually rename this eventually. So I have my Bluebirds group, and I need to select the Bluebirds. We'll say it's that guy, and then I'm going to assign it. And now the Bluebirds have it. And I just redo the whole process again. So name, and then assign. Okay, so here's what it does. Now here in Classroom, I can see the Eagles, I can see the Falcons, I can see the Bluebirds, and I can see those assignments directly, just like that. If I want to see them in Google Drive, I go to that Classroom folder, like so, find my blended learning folder, go down to the bottom, and you will see all my slides presentations. I have Bluebirds, Eagles, Falcons. Now I have a few more Falcons because I did this a few other times. But either way, I would have those group slides right there. And if I want to open up each one like so and hit the preview button, I can instantly see very quickly what's going on in those classrooms. So here's Bluebirds, here's Eagles, here's Falcons. And I'd be able to flip through those really quickly just by using that preview mode in Google Drive, and I could see their progress as we go through it. All right, and that is how to set up collaborative groups in Google Slides.